با سلام عزیزان، من بهار کاربخش رهبری هستم، وکیل رسمی مهاجرت در تورنتو کانادا. خیلی خوشحالم که امروز با شما هستم. Hello dear all, my name is Bahar Karbakhsh Rehberi. I'm an immigration lawyer and mediator based out of Toronto, Canada, and it's an honor to be here with you today. I have been offering mediation, conflict resolution, and immigration services through my private practice since 2012, and it is an absolute honor to be here. First, I wanted to thank the organizers of the Persian Awards for allowing me the space and this time to talk about topics that are near and dear to my heart. I wanted to first also thank Rose Khanom, who has been a source of great inspiration, and I'm so happy that we've had the chance to connect and that she has led the way for Iranian women in Canada and beyond. Thank you so very much. So today my topic is about women in law, peace-building endeavors, leadership with purpose, and building heart-based solutions. The law does not exist in a vacuum. It reflects the values of those who shape it, enforce it, and lead within it. For generations, legal systems have been built on hierarchies that prioritize control over care, competition over collaboration, and power over people. Today, women practicing law in Canada and internationally, including immigrant and Persian women, are challenging those foundations. They are stepping into leadership, refusing patriarchal norms, and reshaping legal practice through compassion, sustainability, and collective responsibility. This is a conversation about that shift and about how supporting one another allows us not only to survive in the profession, but to transform it for the betterment of society. Women now make up a significant portion of the legal profession in Canada and around the world. In many spaces, women are no longer the exception, and yet, despite this progress, many women continue to experience law as hierarchical, extractive, and misaligned with their values. Across jurisdictions and legal systems, women lawyers face ongoing inequities in leadership, in compensation and recognition, as well as disproportionately high levels of burnout and attrition. These challenges are not experienced equally. Indigenous women, racialized women, women with disabilities, LGBTQ+ women, and immigrant women often face layered barriers within the profession. Persian women practicing in Canada and internationally are part of this reality. Many navigate the intersection of gender, race, culture, migration, and geopolitics, while also carrying the weight of global political conditions that shape their professional and their personal lives. Despite these barriers, Persian women lawyers have demonstrated extraordinary resilience, intellectual rigor, and moral courage. Many bring with them training across multiple legal systems, languages, and cultural frameworks. Others carry lived experiences of state control, gender-based oppression, or restrictions on women's rights. These experiences profoundly shape their understanding of justice, of dignity, and the role of law in society. Supporting one another as women in law, both in Canada and globally, is not optional. It is essential. Too often, the legal profession has been shaped by scarcity-based thinking, the belief that there is only limited amount of space for women to lead, that success must come at another's expense. This mindset is deeply rooted in patriarchal structures that benefit from isolation and from competition, from the divide and conquer mentality of colonialism and imperialism. A heart-based approach rejects this narrative. It recognizes that collective care and solidarity are sources of strength. When women mentor and guide one another, share knowledge rather than gatekeep it, refer work intentionally to one another, and advocate for one another's leadership, they weaken systems based on exclusion. For immigrant, racialized, and internationally trained women, including Persian women, this solidarity is in fact transformative. At the center of the work is heart-based advocacy. Heart-based advocacy does not require us to compromise rigor or excellence. Instead, it asks us to practice with emotional intelligence, with deep listening, and respect for human dignity. It acknowledges that law is never neutral and that how we advocate is just as important as the results that we seek. For many women practicing law internationally, advocacy is informed not only by doctrine, but by lived experience. It is shaped by an understanding of what it means when law fails to protect, and by a commitment to ensuring that law can become a tool for justice rather than a tool for control. Compassion in this context is not only softness, it is clarity and it is courage. It sharpens our ability to understand context, trauma, and power, leading to stronger, more ethical advocacy. Women's leadership in law is not simply about occupying positions of authority. It is about transforming how power is understood and exercised. Patriarchal legal systems reward overwork, emotional detachment, and dominance. Women leaders across Canada and around the world are refusing these norms. They are leading through collaboration, accountability, and care. And in so doing, they're expanding what leadership can and does look like. This refusal of patriarchy is an act of courage. Women who lead differently often do so at a personal and professional risk. Yet this leadership is precisely what society needs. It creates legal institutions that are more humane, more inclusive, and more responsive to the communities which they serve. Women leaders are also bringing environmental and sustainability lenses into legal practice. Across jurisdictions, women lawyers are challenging extractive models that treat land, resources, and people as commodities. Whether working in environmental law, Indigenous rights, corporate governance, international human rights, or public policy, women are asking harder questions. Is it just? Is it sustainable? Who bears the cost and who benefits? This perspective recognizes that care for people cannot be separated from care for the planet. Sustainability is not a niche concern. It is a legal and moral imperative. Women practicing law internationally are increasingly centering intergenerational responsibility, environmental stewardship, and community well-being into their work. These approaches reflect a heart-based understanding of justice, one that looks beyond short-term outcomes to long-term impact. Building a legal practice rooted in care, leadership, and sustainability requires intention. It means designing practices aligned with values rather than solely with productivity. It means setting clear boundaries, resisting burnout culture, and rejecting the idea that worth is measured by billable hours or by status. For women, particularly immigrant women and women of color, this refusal can be radical. Burnout among women lawyers worldwide is not a personal failure. It is a systemic consequence of patriarchal structures that prioritize output over well-being. Choosing sustainability for ourselves, for our clients, and for our communities is a powerful form of leadership. Supporting one another also means expanding our understanding of leadership beyond traditional centers of power. Community leaders, public interest advocates, educators, and grassroots organizers are often leading the most transformative legal work, even if it is not always visible or rewarded. Heart-based leadership recognizes impact, not hierarchy. Any meaningful vision of women in law in Canada and internationally must be intersectional. Not all women experience patriarchy in the same way. Refusing harmful systems requires listening to those most affected and acting in solidarity. Care without justice is incomplete. Women lawyers also bring an essential and often transformative presence to international conflict resolution and peace negotiation tables, not simply because of who they are, but because of how they engage with conflict across borders, cultures, and systems of power. In peace negotiations, where legal frameworks intersect with diplomacy, history, and deeply rooted grievances, women lawyers often combine legal precision with human awareness. This heart-centered approach does not diminish legal rigor. It strengthens it by recognizing that peace agreements must do more than end violence. They must lay the groundwork for trust, legitimacy, and long-term sustainability. Women make up half of the world's population, yet they remain significantly underrepresented in conflict resolution and legal decision-making spaces. This imbalance is not only inequitable, it weakens peace processes and legal outcomes. If agreements and policies are meant to serve entire societies, then those societies must meaningfully be represented at the tables where decisions are made. Equal participation of women as lawyers, legal advisors, negotiators, policymakers, and institutional leaders is therefore fundamental to credible and inclusive peace building. Equally important is regional representation. International conflicts are deeply shaped by local histories, cultural norms, political realities, and lived experiences that cannot be fully understood from the outside. When peace negotiations lack voices from the regions most affected, even well-intentioned agreements risk being disconnected from reality or failing in implementation. Women lawyers from affected regions bring indispensable contextual knowledge, cultural fluency, and community insight, ensuring that legal frameworks and peace agreements are grounded, relevant, and responsive to the local needs. Women also bring a way of thinking that is particularly well suited to complex conflict environments. Research across disciplines suggests that women tend to excel at recognizing patterns, building connections, and integrating diverse sources of information. Whether shaped by biology, social experience, or both, this orientation toward relational and solution-focused thinking allows women lawyers to connect legal principles with human realities. This is where many women shine as legal advocates and peacemakers, identifying pathways forward where others may see only deadlock and crafting solutions that address multiple interests at once. This strength is especially evident in peace negotiations. Women lawyers frequently assess conflicts through overlapping lenses: international law, political dynamics, cultural context, historical trauma, social structures, and ethical responsibility. Their ability to synthesize these dimensions allows them to identify deeper drivers of conflict, such as exclusion, inequality, and unresolved collective harm. By engaging these root causes, they shape peace agreements that move beyond temporary settlements toward durable and sustainable peace. Peace negotiations are often marked by polarization, mistrust, and high emotional stakes. In these environments, women lawyers frequently play a critical role in fostering dialogue and rebuilding trust. Their capacity to listen deeply, navigate sensitive dynamics, and humanize negotiation processes can open channels where formal diplomacy alone may fall short. When parties feel genuinely heard and respected, even amid profound disagreement, the possibility of meaningful compromise increases. This is not about assigning fixed traits to gender, but about recognizing the value of diversity in gender, region, experience, and perspective in international law and peace processes. When women, particularly women from affected regions, are excluded from conflict resolution and legal spaces, critical insights are lost and outcomes risk lacking legitimacy among the communities they are meant to serve. Inclusive processes lead to agreements that are more resilient, credible, and capable of lasting impact. As international conflicts grow increasingly complex, peace negotiations demand more than narrow legal or political solutions. They require approaches that integrate law with empathy, strategy with ethics, and negotiation with accountability. Women lawyers represented equally and regionally bring this balance in powerful ways, and their participation is not symbolic. It is essential to achieving justice, reconciliation, and lasting peace on the global stage. As we look toward the future of the legal profession, we have an opportunity and, in fact, a responsibility to redefine success. A profession led by women who center compassion, sustainability, and collective well-being is not only more humane, it is more effective. It is better equipped to address the complex social, environmental, and human rights challenges of our time. This future is already taking shape. It is being built by women across Canada and around the world, including Persian women who are leading with integrity, refusing harmful norms, and reshaping law as a tool for social good. Supporting women in law is not symbolic. It is a daily practice of solidarity, courage and care, heart-based advocacy, feminist leadership, and sustainable legal practice are not departures from the law. They are a return to its deepest purpose: justice, dignity, and responsibility to one another and to the world we share. My invitation today is simple and urgent. Lead with heart, refuse patriarchy, support one another, and practice law in service of a more just and sustainable societies. I thank you so much for having me here with you today. It has been an absolute honor and a privilege, and I hope to connect with each of you and to learn from all the other wonderful Persian women who are in attendance, and really all women around the world who are doing their part day to day to make more equitable and just societies. Thank you so much.